A lot of the inspiration for this series has come from just being outdoors a lot more. Our big green area is the cemetery, and I think that's really become reflective in my work. All the weird stuff that kind of builds up in cemeteries, like fake flowers and stuff like that. They're always kind of flying around and ending up in strange areas. My name's Nicole Dennebeer. This is my studio in Malden, Massachusetts. I work in acrylic. I was trained in oils, but felt like I wasn't using oils in a particularly good way. I feel like I don't mix the colors to start off with. I tend to do a lot of visual mixing, which is just kind of the layers building upon one on top of the other and kind of creating the form that way. And so there's a lot of like putting down and pulling back and then putting something else down again. For a little while, I was actually even building up my whole structure of the painting in clay and then painting that as like an experiment to try to nail down shadow a little bit more. I kind of dropped that and started to realize that I wanted to trust my hands maybe and start working from my own understanding of what these objects were rather than having to like make it beforehand. I think that was a huge departure for me and kind of just trusting myself. It's always the smallest element that makes a rendering look realistic to me. I kind of go through a period of a lot of anxiety of kind of like doing one brush stroke and then like walking away and like wandering around for 20 minutes and then coming back and then doing a second one. But then I do eventually get to a point where everything is settled and I know where I'm going. I'm always pulling from history just because there's so many different ways to depict something and to render it. Especially like the Old Master, like the Dutch Still Life, such early references to like the beginnings of sciences. They weren't just trying to understand beauty, but they were understanding why everything was. A lot of historical paintings use reference to religion, parables, and I don't really reference any type of moral or lesson or something in my paintings. It's more kind of looking at these kind of sometimes disgusting elements and beautiful elements and seeing them sort of on the same level of delicacy and beauty. I called it Floral Hex because flower paintings in general is something I'd always avoided. And if I did do kind of a floral scene or something like that, I would make it drippy and kind of try and avoid the idea of rendering these things to be beautiful and to have that quality. I feel like with this series of work, I just started to kind of think of these like wreaths as kind of memorials that are out in the middle of nowhere that have no marker and have no meaning to you other than it has that kind of mystery to it. The elements of overtly feminine and melodramatic quality to it that I've always avoided in my work and kind of tried to put like a real scientific edge to it, or it's like a pseudo-scientific edge to it as a way of kind of qualifying it, I guess, instead of just kind of seeing the form for what it is. But yeah, that's the hex.